Lennon, we'll take your questions.
First, just how tough a loss is it?
It's numbing. Let's just put it that way. It's just one of those where it's a game of football. 60 minutes, and you got to play it to start to finish, and you got to give a lot of credit to South Dakota State for doing what they did at the end. We did everything in our power to try to finish them off, and they found ways to convert, and that was just all to their credit. So, that's the game.
You had a chance to run out the clock offensively, and they used all the timeouts, and then the defense allowed the long drive. Is there one aspect that's more disappointing than the other?
It's a team loss. I mean, we had opportunities to get a first down and run the clock out offensively, and we had a chance to stop them defensively. And it's looking back on the calls in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think we played a smart game as far as giving ourselves the best chance to win, and that's what we were counting on. And again, it's anytime you get somebody 4th and 19 and flush them from the pocket, and throw a pass that I think was in the air, had a 4-second hang time, and they end up completing it for a first down. So, that's and they were going into a pretty strong wind too. So, the weather was a factor. I mean, all those things kind of played together in what we were thinking, and again, they just found a way to do it at the end, and that's where they deserve credit.
What happened on that 4th down and 19 play? You guys' defense was full on assignment, or was it all them in the play?
Well, you got to watch it on film, but basically when we flushed the quarterback, he rolled out to his left, and so naturally the coverage is adjusting to the offensive left, and then he ended up throwing the ball completely across field. Normally, quarterback doesn't look back that direction, but where he saw him, and then he had to throw an off-balance throw to get the ball all the way across the field. It was a desperation throw. He probably would never make that throw in a normal scrimmage setting, but because it was 4th and 19, the game was on the line, he makes the throw, and they make the conversion. So they did what they had to do.
But you had pretty good success containing Zenner. Where did you succeed in stopping him?
Well, I think a big part, I know our lack of success offensively in the fourth quarter was disappointing, but we did have a lot of success offensively first, second, and third quarter as far as time of possession, sustaining drives, keeping them off the field, playing the field position game. That was one of our main goals, was to limit his success, slow him down, try to make them as one-dimensional as possible, and it's one where we had some success in doing it. Now, he still got his yards. I didn't look at any stats at this point, but I thought defensively we did a pretty good job against the run.
Coach, you have 5 guys kind of near the line a lot of times to stop Zenner, and then you also caught him off guard with that fly sweep. Did you feel like those two things were things that you implemented specifically for this game that were going pretty well?
Well, it's part of our game plan. I mean, that's things that we can do with the 3-4 that allows us to make those type of adjustments. And again, it's defending South Dakota State. Defending their offense is much more difficult than because of the dynamics of the passing game. They're getting better and better, I think, with each week, with their confidence in throwing the football. So it's tough just to key on one aspect, but going into the game, we felt we had to do our best to slow down the run game to help us overall.
On that last drive, was it just concentrating on just trying to keep them underneath and just give them yardage, or what?
No, there was a couple times we went for the kill shot. We had an all-out blitz going where we're just trying to, make the tackle, make the sack, make the whatever, and again, that's where you got to give them credit. Even the last play that they scored on, we have a guy coming off the edge, and he's just beelining to the court. We had everything we wanted, and Sumner did a good job and did that reverse spin, and we missed. And, you know, that's the frustrating part.
You allow yourself to look at the what ifs. I mean, Soren had that, looked like he had a pick six in his hand, and Lance drops what appeared to be a touchdown pass. It was,
That's why, you know, when I told the team afterwards, just be careful what you say. I mean, there's so many what ifs in a game like this, and that's why you just have to go back to the old adage, it's a 60-minute game. You try not to let it get to that point where you have plays like that occur at the end of the game, but it did, so therefore all those 60 minutes led up to that point, and that's how you try to rationalize everything.
How well did you control the field position in the fourth quarter, did you think?
Well, I thought we had great field position, and you know, that's one of the reasons too, we defer at the beginning of the game, was just so that you could have the win in the fourth quarter, and you know, I don't know what our average start spot was for the fourth quarter, but I gotta believe it was pretty close to midfield, and I imagine their average starting spot would be, you know, less than 20.
And when you pin them inside the 10 3 times in the fourth quarter, chances are you're gonna win that game, or you're gonna make it as tough as you can.
Well, when you got the lead, you're giving yourself a chance. They got to do a lot of things right to succeed, and that last drive they did, and it wasn't a. Usually, you see a last drive like that, you know, some big play where they knock off 60 yards in one shot. That didn't happen. I mean, it was a progressive type drive where they worked the ball down the field with no timeouts. Again, they're a very well coached football team. We have a tremendous amount of respect for them and how they run their program, and you know, their offense, their defense. They're very schooled in what it takes to be successful.
you had to feel very good about when the start of that drive. Was there ever a point in that drive where you got a lump in your throat and thought, oh?
You don't think that way. I mean, it's just one of those, you know, it's next play mentality, and even down the stretch, again, they're around the 10-yard line, we get a sack, game's over. I don't know if they can get their field goal team out in time to kick a field goal to try to send it into overtime. You know, so what you look at is just the opportunities that were there for that moment, and then you try to convert on it, and then you kind of analyze what just happened, and then you go on to the next play.
Offensively in the second half, you mentioned you thought you might have played smart, but you think you made two saves perhaps in the second half offensively?
We did what we had to do to give ourselves a chance to win. Now, I guarantee you that we go for it on fourth down, we don't get it, we give them the ball on the 50-yard line and just gave up all the field position that we dominated in that fourth quarter, then we'd be talking about something else right now. But those calls, I think, as much as you want to go for it, I mean, we did what we had. We got a good punter. We were playing good defense. You know, so you play your strong hand, and you know, that's what we did. We played our suit best we could.
You know, there's certain moments in a season that define it. In a couple of months when you look back, it's just going to be one of those moments where you got that lump in your throat and you know that. Oh,
this sticks with you. Yeah, it's one that you know, any loss you have sticks with you year long and even beyond that. I mean, it's that's the nature of the game. Football, you only got 11 games on the course of the season, so you know, each one in itself is you know, the amount of time and effort you put into each game is incredible, and you try to enjoy the successes the best you can, but you know, you try to find a way to get over the defeats, but for some reason defeats linger a lot longer than the successes.
Is it set in yet that the playoffs aren't going to happen, you know, for a third straight year?
There's so many things that go with it. I mean, it's just disappointing right now. That's why it's numbing. You know, I'm glad we got a week off. I mean, it's going to take a little while to get over this one. It's just a very heartbreaking loss, just because there were so many implications with this game, and then to lose it in the fashion we did, you know, just kind of adds a little more to the pain.
offensively, why was it tough to find an alternative to the fly sweep and the wide receiver screen, something successful for you to move the football in the second half?
Not sure what you're asking.
What was the biggest struggle offensively for you guys in the second half?
Not moving the ball. I mean, if I had the answers, we would have done it. I mean, you gotta give them credit defensively. They came in as one of the top-ranked defenses in the conference against the run, and I mean, we had some success. We were working their perimeter game. We were doing some things at north-south. The thing that hurt us as much as anything was penalties. I mean, that was probably our biggest downfall in the second half, is we had foolish penalties with the illegal procedures, and we get a call where we get a hand in the face penalty. I don't know, I didn't see that one. We get called for a block in the back. You know, geez, we had a lot of penalties that killed our drives in the second half. So, you know, we'll watch it on film to see what the deal was, but that, as much as anything else, didn't allow us to move the football.
What's going to be the goals for the bye week, Dave? Are you going to give them a day off, an extra day off?
Yeah, well, it's the difference with this bye week is only 1 week left after it. So, you know, we're banged up. We've been through a tough 10-game stretch here. Our guys need some time off to heal up. We'll do that. We'll be smart. We're going to go with early morning practices. We're not going to have long practices. It'll just be, you know, stay sharp, work on some football fundamentals, and then get them ready to go for that next week. So we're going to basically do what we got to do to be 100% on following Monday.
And will you give them